There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
For generations, fans of IndyCar could only dream of stepping into the cockpit and feeling the rush of going wheel to wheel at over 200 miles per hour. Thanks to the latest in sim racing technology, we can get one step closer. Talented, fearless drivers battle it out in virtual race cars to claim supremacy at some of the world's most demanding tracks. This is the RIL, Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, presented by RaceBurst.
Well, it's that time. Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to RaceBurst coverage of Championship Wednesday of the Revolution Indy League's Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, coming for the summer 2022 season, coming to you from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway's world-famous 2.5-mile oval for the Heinekamp Financial 300. It is a home game for me, but a road game for my normal host that is going to be substituted tonight, subbing for Ryan Eric King, who is on assignment covering this weekend's NTT IndyCar Series race at the Portland Grand Prix for Jalopnik.com. Shameless plug, look it up this weekend. As Turn 200's Productions Tommy Cook will be handling over RIL broadcasting duties to Tommy and his team for the upcoming Daredevil Series season, starting September 14th, which we will talk about tonight during our 300 miles here at Indianapolis. Welcome, Tommy, and welcome to the tradition known as IndyCar racing at Indianapolis.
I cannot tell you how excited I am. I feel bad for you because you're going to have to be trapped up here with me for 300 miles, but it's a historic night. I am so honored to be a part of it. I know everybody wishes that Ryan were here, but I'm not going to be able to fill his shoes quite enough, but it's a pretty big deal to be asked to be here, so I'm pretty excited to get into it. And a lot on the line, not just because it's Indianapolis, but because it's championship night as well.
That's right, Championship Wednesday, and first things first, we are still in practice. We got about 3 minutes left. We are starting early. We have lots to talk about. So let's take a look at the points championship as it is now. And really, it is boiling down. That's how excited I am. Down to 3, just like it did last season at our finale at Homestead, Miami. This season, Nicholas Johnson leads with a 17-point lead over Bruno Miranda. Bruno has himself a 28-point lead over Caleb Bency. The top 3, there you see, 347, 330, 302. Those are the championship 3. Those are the 3 they're going to pay attention. Those are the 3 that mathematically have a shot at coming out next season with the number 1 badge on their car. Chances on everyone this season. I know you got a chance to race with some of these guys. What do you think everyone's chances are? And then we'll start talking about scenarios here next.
Well, you know, it's an enviable position to be in for Nicholas Johnson, who really picked up some crucial extra points there in the last lap of last week's Indy Road Course race. But, I mean, for him tonight to head into Indianapolis, a track that He has not really run that much with these RIL guys. I mean, he's got an opportunity to essentially notch a top 5 finish and ice any chance that Miranda or Bensi have at this title, no matter how well they could perform tonight. And that's a great position to be in for driver number 28.
Well, and that's exactly it. A 5th place, actually finishes 4th or better to clinch. That is the scenario. I don't know how mathematically correct these are. We're going to blame Dakota if they're not. If they're correct, we will take complete credit from him. Nicholas Johnson needs to finish 4th or better, but it's 5th if he leads a lap or gets the pole. So we will be watching the pole momentarily here. Right now, we got draft-aided speed, so we're really not showing much, but as the qualifications come through, and we are doing 4-lap qualifying, 4-lap average speed qualifying, traditional IndyCar qualifying in Indianapolis, not just the normal iRacing 2 laps taking the best of the 2. We are doing 4-lap average, just like they do in the real world. 10 miles, 4 laps, the hardest 10 miles in all of auto racing, and you will see them here tonight. And we'll see if he gets the pole, but that's a 4th or better to clinch, but 5th or better if he leads a lap or gets a pole. So if he just simply gets a point, he will be able to finish 1 position worse. The menu is completely different and a whole lot more confusing for Bruno Miranda. Bruno needs to win and have Johnson finish 5th or worse, 6th depending on bonus points. He needs to finish 2nd and have Johnson finish 11th or worse. And Caleb to finish 3rd or worse. He needs to finish 3rd and have Johnson finish 15th or worse and have Caleb finish 2nd or worse. Needs to finish 4th and have Johnson finish 19th or worse and have Caleb finish 3rd or worse. I mean, this is just one of, I think, about a half dozen or more different scenarios for Bruno Miranda, and we'll get into more of those because there are many different combinations for Miranda to work here. There is no way Bruno can win the championship if he finishes 8 or worse, period. In the story, day is done if he finishes 9th. Caleb Bensi has 3 paths to victory here. Not to sound like we're doing election night commentary, but 3 paths to victory. But bottom line for Caleb, if he finishes outside of the top 5, day over for Caleb. But we will continue to go through these scenarios all night long, and slowly they'll start to tick off as we have some attrition and everything. But mathematically, the calculator is going to be running all night long.
I don't know about you, but I'm terrible at math. So, I mean, it's hard enough watching cars go round and round in circles all night, but then you put math on top of it, and my head's just going to be spinning.
There absolutely really needs to be, and I'm sure there's a site out there that's like a championship scenario configurator or something, and all you have to do is just plug in the information, and it will tell you what you need to know. Ooh, Dakota DeMay getting loose in turn 3 on his qualification warm-up lap, so he's going to come back in and start that over one more time. He did not hit the wall, just got loose. There's Christopher Hill on his warm-up lap. We'll bring you some speeds here on the ticker. Yeah, but there needs to be some sort of configure out there because there are so many different scenarios. I mean, last year I think it was pretty cut and dry just because of how close it was, because the spread's a little bit more spread out, so to speak. There's a lot more combinations, so we will go over those. So let's bring up the ticker, start taking a look at everybody on track. We will not see times until they complete their runs. So we will not see times until they complete their runs. We do have times listed in miles per hour because nobody cares about time on an oval. We only care about speed. You never really hear them talk about it in Indianapolis when someone qualifies at 39.9, do you?
No, I guess not. Now that you put it that way.
No, you never do.
Notably, I'll say Bensi and Miranda are on track, but Nicholas Johnston is not yet.
A couple of EOLs that we have for tonight, and some big news, really, that we need to talk about with those EOLs. And we'll get into this here real quick. There's quite a few, actually. Isidro, Hubbard, both have EOLs for tonight. Isidro, I believe, is in the lineup. I don't see Hubbard, so he must choosing not to show up tonight to serve his penalty. Moss, carryover from week 9. I do not see him in the lineup either, so I believe he will not be here. Carswell an EOL carryover from week 9. I do not see him here either. So Freeman, I do not see him here either. So the biggest news then, of course, will be Isidro, who is one of the series regulars, and he is up there in the points championship. We have that on the screen. He's in the top 10, so he's got a long road to hoe. But the biggest news coming out for penalties for tonight, Brody Garner, who won just 2 weeks ago, or 2 races ago, with his incident with Yoshikawa at Indianapolis last week. Race Control ruled the incident as intentional contact and thus levied a 1-race suspension, which will be carried out for this race, Indianapolis, and a season-long probation for next RIL season. So a pretty hefty penalty levied upon Garner, who was in a couple run-ins with drivers last week.
Yeah, that was after I crashed out on lap 1 of that race. I got to sit back and watch the rest of the broadcast, which was nice. But Garner, he started on pole, correct? And just as he sort of made his way down through the field, it just seemingly got worse and worse for him. So he claimed vehemently in chat and Discord that it was not intentional. Race Control saw it otherwise. Yeah,
and it is tough to call. I don't know very many people that intentionally want to go out there and hit people, but that is a tough call by Race Control, and I'm glad I did not have to make that decision.
Agreed.
So here are all the IndyCar track records for real for Indianapolis that you need to know. Single unofficial track record set back 1996. Ari Leyendijk on Fast Friday. Unofficial track record, 239.260. That's pretty safe for the time being here when the IndyCars come back in May. Single official lap record, 237.498 during Ari Leyendijk's qualification. Now, remember, he did not pass post-tech inspection in qualifying in 96, so he was a second-day qualifier. So everyone's talking about how Dixon was the fastest pole speed in history. That is correct. However, he does not have the fastest lap in history. That is still held by Ari Leyendijk because he was a day 2 qualifier in 96. 237.498. Ari Leyendijk also holds the official 4-lap average, 236.986, also set on day 2, of course. The race official lap, fastest lap in race history, 236.103 by Eddie Cheever, also during that 96 500. And the official race average record set just last year by Helio Castroneves en route to his 4th victory, 190.690. That is the race average. Career wins leader here at Indianapolis. Of course, they are the Mount Rushmore of IndyCar racing here in Indianapolis. AJ Foyt, Alan Sr., Rick Mears, and Helio Castroneves, each with 4. Franchitti, Meyer, Rose, Rutherford, Shaw, Bobby Unser each have 3. Your leading active drivers at the moment are Castroneves, of course, with 2. And don't forget about Takuma Sato and Juan Montoya. Each of those drivers have 2 Indy 500 wins as well. Team Penske figuratively and literally owns the Speedway. The team has amassed 18 wins between 13 different drivers, going way back into the late 60s. Penske Entertainment Group actually now are the owners and operators of the Speedway since 2020. So, you know, they like the place so much, just like the guy with the razor, they bought it.
What I'll say here, with 3.5 minutes left in qualifying, look at your front 2 qualifiers. Caleb Benzie, Bruno Miranda, Nicholas Johnson just across the line on lap number 4. Provisionally, he is 9th. So the calculators are already firing up, boys.
228.626 for Caleb Benzie, his 4-lap average. Bruno Miranda, 228.549. Justin Miller, another one to watch here, 228.409. Justin so close to winning Monday night's top split race there at Kansas before getting crashed out with 2 to go. Gavin Sanders, my good pal, 228.464. His teammate right next to him. Oh, we don't have teammates, but we have associations. But his associated teammate, Dakota DeMay, 228.542. And they're also associated teammate with Shane Coogan, 228.382. So the race first guys are showing up in the top 6 big time. Also, don't forget Logan Spath, also one of the race first associated drivers, qualifying 10th at 228.023. We're going to have, there's not going to be a full field tonight. We're actually going to have 24 cars have taken time. We have 20 5, 6, 7 people that have went ahead and have registered in, so they might just take no time and start EOL on the field on top of Isidro, who did qualify 7th, but he will follow the back. That's a pretty good pit spot for him, though. So even starting from the back, or if he chooses to start from the pits, is a pretty safe spot right there if he wants to do that. But we're not going to get up to the 33 limit. But if we did, we would have bumping starting at 33. Right now, we still have about a minute and 50 seconds before we start gridding up for the final race of the RIL season. Let's take a look while we wait at the next season schedule. Bringing that up. We will kick off here December 7th for round 1 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Then a week later, we'll go to the Circuit of the Americas. Then over to Japan on the Twin Wind Motegi Oval. Then on January 4th, just after the new year, we will go to Kansas Speedway for the Kansas Road Course. And that will be part of the doubleheader that we will have that this year was at Fontana. They Turn 200 covered for us so well. We will go to the road course first, and then we'll do a oval 100 laps on the oval. The remainder of the schedule, Montreal, Talladega, New Jersey Motorsports Park for the first time, Monza combined, Darlington, Road America, and then Indianapolis. We will do a qualifying show, and then a week later, we will do 300 laps on the Indy Oval to close out the winter 22-23 season.
I got to tell you, as the least skilled driver in the RIL lineup in any given week, I am absolutely salivating at the fact that Talladega is on the schedule. And it could be my time to shine. And this could be famous last words before I wad the entire field up at some point. But, I am that entire schedule is really interesting. And Christopher and everybody do a great job at putting together unique venues and in a sane order, if at all possible. So I'm pretty excited about next season.
Well, there is a little precedence to having IndyCar and or having Talladega on an IndyCar schedule. A little known fact, but back in 1980. Part of the USAC. This is between the USAC and CART war when we were having that battle. There was 2 competing schedules. There was the USAC schedule and there was the CART schedule. And on that USAC schedule, scheduled for August 24th of that year, was a 500-miler at Talladega that never happened.
Whoops.
Probably a good thing. But
definitely.
IndyCars actually have tested at Talladega, and I believe in the mid-'70s, Foyt was there with his Wildcat and set a world closed course record that when we get into that coverage, I'll bring up all that stuff and some sites that people can go to learn more about that. But IndyCars have tested there before, but IndyCars racing at Talladega, maybe at one point in the past, but the way that pack racing is and everything's being so dangerous, even with the extra protection over the cockpit, still a very mighty dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the cockpit would only protect so much, and definitely not from an entire flying car going
right.
through
Yeah, right. Well, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup here at Indianapolis. Bringing it up right now before we go green. On the pole, Caleb Benzie with the 39.5 seat. The 229 or whatever speed he had before sounded so much better than 39.5. Bruno Miranda, P2 in the 91, sitting just outside. Justin Miller, P3. Gavin Sanders, P4. Dakota DeMay in the 82 in P5. And Shane Coogan repping that mid-90s Ganassi livery in P6. Back to the next 3 rows. Isidro, Christopher Hill, Nicholas Johnson, one of our championship 3. Logan Spath, Matt Cosgrove, and Christopher Kresge. Remember last time when Christopher Kresge started this high in the Indianapolis field in the RIL. Oh, sorry about that, Chris. Matthew Short, P13. Christian Jasper, P14. Paul Molijic at 15th. Nagasiya Yoshikawa, 16th. Drew White, one of the Oval experts, 17th. DL Lemon, one of the IndyCar historians, and 18th. Neil Lusher 19th, Hunter Ingrave 20th, Caleb Morrissey 21st, Libertor 22nd, Woodall, watch him, he's one of the good drivers here, 23rd, Heinekamp, our race sponsor, in the 24th, and Matt Houston, JJ Wang, and Troy Mitz round out the 27-car field with no time, starting shotgun on the field.
Ooh, man, I am absolutely pumped up about this. We're kicking things off right with two of our championship protagonists up on the front row. The championship leader back in the field with work to do. It's Indianapolis. It's Championship Wednesday. It's all happening.
It is time to go green. Field is under the command of Caleb Bency, and we are green flag in the air, and the start of the Championship Wednesday. Who is going to be our champion is beginning right now, and Caleb Bency starting out strong, leading and going into turn one. Here comes Justin Miller, P2. Right behind him is a battle for third between Gavin Sanders and Bruno Miranda, one of the Championship 3. Snaking down the backstretch already. And lap one in the books. Caleb Bency doing what he needs to do. Gavin Sanders to the inside. Taking out third from Bruno Miranda.
It's so much easier to make passes in these first couple of laps of a run. Once you get settled in and all these cars start to get spaced out, that aero wash is really hard to overcome. So this is not the start that Bruno Miranda needed, slipping back through the field here in the first couple of laps.
Yeah, once the good of these tires go away, then it becomes a handling issue of the dreaded aero push and how well you could dial your car in on these fixed setups. Of course, you have your front bar, you have your rear bar, you have your weight jacker, which controls the right rear spring to help your car rotate through these corners. Of course, if you use too much weight jacker, you use up that right rear, and your car becomes loose on exit. Right there, you see Bruno Miranda experimenting with the high line, getting a run off corner number 2. Going to take a look to the inside on Gavin. Decides against it. Going to stick it right back behind Gavin in the it's attenuated right there, and going to resume the pursuit. Not going to be much way in the way of fuel strategy. Pretty much just the way that the nature of these cars run and the chosen distance. It's about 30 laps to a tank for these cars, and 30 laps to a tank, and then you do the math, and that works its way into 120 pretty evenly. So right now, I think everyone's just going to send it full on the first stint here and see what happens. But there's always going to be someone a little bit further on back, and we're watching Nicholas Johnson there in P7, who might decide to do a little fuel conservation, see if he can eke out a few more laps and maybe catch an opportune yellow.
And pretty much everybody single file all the way through the field, everybody keeping it clean and in a straight line, which is, not always a guarantee at the beginning of these Indianapolis races, as you alluded to earlier.
Top 4 tightly packed together. Gavin looking for clean air up top.
These top 6 cars are starting to bunch up a little bit and break away. Actually, the split happening right around Nicholas Johnson. Johnson and Christopher Hill could end up tagging onto the tail of this lead pack, but Matt Cosgrove is the car running behind Hill in P9, and he might not have as much luck.
Cosgrove in that Gallagher livery from Indy 500s past. Whereas recently we've seen Connor Daly driving that and some split duties a couple seasons ago. So far, you're big. Go right ahead.
I was going to say, watching these Championship 3 and their practice mentalities kind of translate into the race, it's kind of flipped on its head. Bency and Miranda came out and worked together, actually, for about 18 laps in a practice run. But Bency kept laying back, dropping back to the tail of the line intentionally and making it really aggressive moves. And now he hasn't had to do that at all. whereas Miranda liked to be the lead car. Now he's the one that has to work through traffic. And Nicholas Johnson stuck back in P7. Really came out and ran single car runs for the first 10 or 15 laps of his practice, and he showed up about half an hour after the two drivers in front of him did.
Letting the action speak for itself. There's a view of Caleb Benzias. Nice, clean racetrack right ahead of him. Aero push is not impacting him, but he's getting the worst mileage of the group.
Justin Miller behind him, and a clean racer, but a very aggressive racer. So one that I'm sure Benzi is taking notice of, especially as he inches his way closer and closer every corner. We have already lost Trey Mitz, and Christopher Kresge, I don't believe, came around to complete a lap, so I'm not sure if something happened there or if he just elected not to start the race.
A little bit in the mid-pack here. Lewis Woodall in 15th. He's worked his way up 7 spots already.
And I believe it was Woodall in Season 2 that started 20th and finished runner-up in this race. So
yeah, he had
putting in the work.
Yeah, he had a great run driving for Team Vor that season. Still working with Vor in the Vor livery. It's the Velocity Online Racing League and team. I'm a former teammate of mine, and he has worked his way up into the top 15. He's the biggest gainer at the moment, up 7 spots.
Pretty much every car from first back to 10th is spread out equidistantly. There's not much more than a second or a second and a quarter between any of these cars, if that.
Yeah, that's what happens when the aero push here really becomes a thing. Got a new guy kind of making an appearance here. Shane Coogan's worked his way up to the 5th spot. Very patient driver there. Dakota DeMay, multi-time RIL FIS official fixed 500 winner. Knows this place very well. In that Sunset Arctic livery. He's hanging tough in 6th, down 1 spot, but keeping everything right in front of him. Nicholas Johnson still in 7th. Christopher Hill, the road course expert, showing well on the oval. Road experts tend to do well here at Indianapolis for whatever reason. Just look over history. Emerson Fittipaldi won. Of course, you have Graham Hill, another. Then you go look for Nigel Mansell, another. A lot of drivers that made Indianapolis one of their first oval races seem to do always well here, and I think it's just the nature of really these corners. They're not as they're a lot sharper than they look, but they require a fine hand, and road course racers tend to benefit well from that.
I believe we had an incident further back in the pack with Jonathan Liebertor and Michael Heinekamp. Both drivers made it to pit road. Heinekamp has a ton of damage on that car. Liebertor is already disconnected.
Yeah, there was quite a...
Morrissey also just pit. Sorry.
That's fine. We'll take a look at Morrissey. I'm not sure if maybe he kissed the wall, and this is little damage repair, currently in the box for over 10 seconds, and he's out. So must have had some incident. So now we've started with 27. We're down to 22 already. Yoshikawa is the last car on the lead lap in 22nd, just kind of hanging out back here with Nicholas Isidro. The big wreck still has not come yet, so I'm sure these guys were kind of banking on an early wreck here, which fixed Indy races tend to be, that's a staple of fixed Indy races, but it doesn't seem to be coming to fruition so far. So right now these guys might want to think about either picking up the pace as best they can or just going into fuel conserve.
It's a long race. It's 300 miles, but I wonder where Nicholas Johnson's headspace is at right now. You know, it's we've still got 105 laps left. Is that right?
Yeah, we got 15 of 120, and we got to move here for position. At least someone was taking a peek. Shane Coogan was taking a look to the inside of Bruno Miranda. Bruno has got to hold station.
Yeah, it's definitely not been the start to the race that Bruno Miranda wanted. There is a path to the championship for him with Bensi finishing ahead of him, but he cannot afford to lose many more positions than this.
Dakota getting a little loose on corner exit there at turn 2 going into the to the south chute. I'll give you an idea of how the speedway is oriented. It is on the west side of Indianapolis. It stands north, south, east, west, very evenly accessed with the north portion of the track where they are right now, coming out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Now they're heading south into the south portion of the track into turn 1. Turn 1 is where 16th in Georgetown, the famous meeting of the two corners, meet right there in the IndyCar ticket office and Indianapolis Motor Speedway ticket office. Right there in the short chute going over the tunnel, which brings you into the infield and to the Hall of Fame Museum. Now down the backstretch, which splits Brickyard Crossing. Got a number of holes in the infield as well as most of the holes on the outside there. Speedway High School there actually uses that as their official home course.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Where do you usually sit? Where's your favorite place to sit here?
My preferred place to sit is right up in turn 4. And we'll watch it as the guys right now, they're on the south end of the speedway going through turn 2. Right there, right in front of the Riley Children's Hospital Suites. That's a good place to sit there, too. You can look right down into the cars and see their hands as they are turning the cars through turns, through turn 2 there. We're coming into turn 3. Right beyond the turn 3 grandstands, there's a neighborhood there. Then there's turn 4. Right about here is where I've had long-time tickets where I sat for a majority of my 500s on turn 4. Turn 4 gives you a good shot down the front straight, all the way through turn 3, the north chute, of course, all of turn 4. And of course, if you miss any action, because you cannot see all the way around the racetrack in any one given seat here. About the only place I think you can see all the way around. And even then, as some of it is partially covered by these trees that are in the infield, as at the very top of the timing scoring tower. I think you could see pretty much all the racetrack from there. But of course, not many people are going to be able to go up there.
No, definitely not.
So there's a lot of big TVs, scoreboard TVs that are in the infield. So while you're not watching the action immediately in front of you, you can always look up and see the TV feed on one of the big screens that dot the around this track.
I got to sit kind of in the exit of turn 4 the first time I went there, which was the year that Kanan won the 500. So that was a great place to watch a great moment for sure. So I did like that spot quite a lot. Haven't been back to that area since, but wouldn't mind going back there, I suppose.
And that is a long day on your feet. That's for sure. There's this place. I think for those watching and want to make a trip to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, best bring your walking shoes and a lot of water. This place, the size, that TV here, even the virtual world does not do it justice. This place is immense. In the infield, you can fit all of the Vatican. You can fit the Colosseum, and that's the Stadium Coliseum and the RIL Coliseum in Italy. You could fit Yankee Stadium. You could fit Churchill Downs. You could fit all of that in the infield here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Got some Bruno Miranda fans in the chat. They're rooting for the Storm to see if the Storm can storm his way to the front. Currently in P4.
Just watched DL Lemon go through on Lewis Woodall, and Lewis Woodall is now going to get passed again by Matt Houston. So Lewis is going to go from 16th to 18th in one go.
Lewis defending tough up high. Wow, about kissed the wall there in the short chute. Manages to hold on to the position. Looks like the high line is open for business today if you're able to hang on to it. And he's able to rescue that moment that he had with DL Lemon and hang on to P17, but Matt's not giving up. Taking a look to the inside into the other short chute into turn 4, side by side coming down the main straight. And right now, Lewis has the benefit of the draft of the car right in front of him, and that is making the pass here by Matt that much tougher. Matt sticking to it, going to stay in the inside, going to hold on. Not clear yet. Lewis it's almost into the wall. And right behind him is Nicholas Isidro. I said that he might want to kick it up a notch. He's already moved up a couple of positions.
For sure, it was tagging the tail by quite a bit, sucked up to him, and has gotten past a few cars. Now here he goes through on Woodall.
And this is very much, this is very much Isidro's MO for whatever reason. He doesn't get a lot of EOLs, but Lewis. Oh, and that's why we are got a caution on the racetrack. A spinner off of turn 4. Everyone was checking up, and that Isidro almost into the back of Lewis Woodall there, and he's able to avoid it. But Matthew Short, looking like he's having a short day. And the road course expert, unfortunately, having an issue coming off of turn 4, as well as Hunter Ingrave in that Rossi-looking livery. We'll get an idea of what happened here on replay.
I think what you're going to see is Matthew Short just pushing it a little hard through some aero wash, right in front into the wall. Hard into the inside wall. Ingrave with absolutely nowhere to go. Yeah,
and the old ricochet on out. Oh, and Yoshikawa might have, he snapped back into place there, but Yoshikawa might have had some net code contact. We'll see. But everyone, we're really close to a pit stop here, 25 laps. Everyone's coming down pit road. There we see Caleb picking up the pace car off of turn 2. The top 5 really has not changed much since the drop of the green. Benzie Miller, Sanders, Miranda, and Coogan is your top 5. DeMay Johnston, Hill, Spath, Jasper, your top 10. And that is currently how we run after 25 of 120 laps. And more likely we are going to see pit stops right here. I don't anticipate anyone staying out to try to maybe lead a lap or a portion of because really in their tanks is no more than 5 laps or so of fuel.
Yeah, it's not the smartest decision. I wouldn't think to stay out at this point. And yeah, like you said, really the most notable things to happen off the start of this race up until this point is Miranda dropping 2 spots and Johnston picking up 2 spots. So Benzie's held a pretty steady wheel up front. Justin Miller has gotten close a couple of times, but not really made a move. So now it's time to see how pit stops are going to shake things up.
The boss man, Matt Houston, up 9 spots in 15th. JJ Wang up 7 spots in 18th. And everybody's coming down pit road.
Dakota DeMade is still out behind the pace car.
We did not see him peel off, and he is going to lead He wants that point for leading a lap. He is willing to sacrifice pit position, or not pit position, track position, to get that valuable point.
I think there's also something to be said of maybe being ahead of the chaos that could ensue on this restart.
And Gavin Sanders beats out Caleb Bency.
Bency was 3 wide with Miranda and Miller. I think Miller might have lost 2 spots.
Yeah, we'll see how everyone gets situated here. Now, Dakota, I'm sure, is probably going to pit, but what he's going to do is he might want to pit with like 2 to go, top off that tank a little bit more than everyone else is, and then when that next pit window opens, he might have himself a lap or 2 of a little bit extra to possibly stay out there just in case a yellow occurs. But imagine he's doing this for the point. I don't know if this is a mistake in terms of, oops, I forgot to make that turn down pit road.
That would be quite the mistake, because he was running, he was running 5th or 6th. He could have seen that everybody was going ahead of him. So this seems pretty intentional to me.
And I also know he's on the same radio with Sanders, Bency, Coogan, Spath. Let's see who else was that one. Houston, among others in that one. And I'm sure that they were all communicating. So this is a little strategy playing out here. Dakota, mathematically not possible trying to get to the championship, but he might have a shot at 3rd here. And 3rd is actually with his teammate Caleb Bency.
Well, the word in the garage today was that DeMade was trying to lobby Christopher Kresge for 100 bonus points. And the word also in the garage was that Kresge did not grant them. So I think he's looking for as many bonus points as he can get today.
Yeah, I don't think enough money was going to be willing to change hands there. So while we're waiting to go green, and we're going to go, I think, green next time by. The lights are out on the pace car. We have a little time here because these laps are so long at Indianapolis. Is coming up here starting the 14th of September. Is the first race of the Daredevil Series coming up, which will be covered here, not on Race First, but on Turn 200 Productions. Tommy and his group are going to cover that race and the entire series all season long. You're going to start off with Auto Club, Brands Hatch, Charlotte Oval, Richmond, Mid-Ohio, Pocono, Gateway, Long Beach, and then wrap up at Indianapolis right before Thanksgiving. They will be using the Lotus 79s, and they're going to have that old vintage Cosworth sound.
Oh, that season 1 was the thrill of a lifetime. I mean, even disregarding the championship battle, every single race was incredible. And then you had a great championship battle on top of it, with Dakota DeMade, ironically, being the one to come out on top over Michael DeTurk, who's made some starts here with the RIL Schaeffer's gang this season. So, yeah, my partner Matt Williamson and I, who it's his birthday today. I know he's not watching because of that, but if you happen to see this, happy birthday. We'll have all the action there on Turn 200 Productions right now on Twitch, possibly on YouTube. We'll see how some of the preseason stuff goes.
Yeah, there was a method to my madness, also bringing it up with Dakota in the lead there. He's the defending champion. We're the #1 in the Daredevil Series. We are going green, and the snake begins down the front stretch.
There's one man that knows what to do with clean air at Indianapolis. It is definitely Dakota DeMade.
And he has opted to not pit at all, so he is on light tank. So he is making a huge gamble at the moment, and he is leading down the backstretch, has himself a decent gap over himself and Gavin Sanders. But Gavin, with those brand new tires running the high line, watch him eat this space up.
Justin Miller has Shane Coogan to his inside. This is for spot number 5 out of 4. Nicholas Johnson closing in on both of them as well.
Again, we'll be watching Dakota. Probably is going to be pitting here in the next 5 to 6 laps, depending on how much he saved running predominantly in 6th spot that entire first stint. And I also would imagine that his teammates in second and third there are probably willing to play ball with him a little bit and not pressure him too much, knowing that he has a duck off.
Oh, car in the wall! Lewis Woodall. That car is done, headed down the front straightaway.
Yep, into the wall. That shaved off the entire right portion of the car. He punches out. Solo incident, but we are still green.
And there were only a few cars behind him at that point, but everybody did a good job of getting around and not kicking up any debris, sending it up into the grandstands. I know the fans always appreciate that.
Yeah, there's been some incidents that debris is from IndyCar races, and we hear about it all the time in NASCAR races and stock car races. There have been incidents here at Indianapolis in the past, specifically 87 during the 87 500, where a wheel came off of a car and Roberto Guerrero came by and punted it up into the grandstand and killed a spectator. And then incidentally, that impact jarred his car to where then he started to have clutch problems. And on his last stop for the 500, he was leading. He was going to win the 500 after finishing second, third, and fourth. In his first three 500s, he was leading in the late stages by a large margin over Allenser Sr. That particular race. He came to the pits for his last stop, and because of the jar that hit his car, the jarring that hit his car, he had clutch problems, had a hard time leaving the pits. That allowed Allenser Sr. to pass him and get his fourth Indy 500 win after that. And then, unfortunately, Roberto finished second, which would have been a banner day for most drivers. It was a disappointment for him that year, considering the car and combination he was in that was really set up for a race win and a championship season that year. And then really at that point, his IndyCar and Indy 500 luck just kind of went completely out the window, followed by the next Indy 500 where he finished 33rd. And of course, we know about the incident that led to a testing incident that led to a coma that he was in a long time here at Indianapolis. And then the 92 start where he was on the pole with a new track record in that Buick Lola that he was racing for Bernstein Racing, and coming to warming up his tires along the backstretch where these cars are right here. Spun off into the infield as he was just warming up his tires on a very cold 500 morning there in the 92 500. So there you go. We talked a little bit about everything.
Yeah. A Buick.
Yes.
Wow.
And stock block, they allowed stock block Buicks back in the day. They were V6s. Versus the actually they were V6s versus the rest of the Cosworths, the Lolas, or excuse me, the Cosworths, Fords, Chevrolets, and everything at the time. They were V8s, so they actually gave the Buicks additional boost to make up the difference, and that's what really made those Buicks so much faster. And then later, those Buicks then were bought up kind of as Buick left the sport. Here comes Dakota DeMaine on the pit road. As the sport then kind of changed to paces and Buick left the sport, John Menard bought him up and badged him as the Menard motor that he ran for about 3 or 4 seasons in Indianapolis before the new formula in 97 picked up and everyone had the stock block engines again. Here comes Dakota. He will probably stay on the lead lap. And he is coming all the way down to his spot. Slides a little bit. Oh! Overshoots. That's going to cost him. We're going to see where the leaders are going to come out here.
Just entered 3, about to hit the north chute, is new leader Gavin Sanders.
Dakota is down and away.
And we are on the front stretch.
And he is past the cone. He is coming up. He's going to stay on the lead lap, but just barely. And he will be by himself by a pretty considerable margin, actually.
So now it's the top 3, Sanders, Bensey, and Miranda. They have pulled away from Justin Miller in 4th, who is kind of pretty evenly spaced out with Johnston and Hill, or excuse me, Coogan, Johnston, and Hill behind him.
So now our leader is Gavin Sanders. 10 laps into his current stint. We're probably looking at another 20 laps before their window opens up again. And then, of course, Dakota just stopped. So he is It's going to be 30 now, 29 laps before his next stop. So we will be into the 60s halfway home when a lot of these guys start thinking about stop number 2.
And just as an update on the points clinching scenarios, as they run right now, Johnson would be the champion, as Bensi finishing in second where he's running right now would require Nicholas Johnson to finish 22nd. There are only 19 cars running at this point. Dakota DeMade is the last car on the lead lap and the last car running on the track at 19th. And with Miranda in third, Johnson would need to fall to 15th. And Nicholas Johnson running in 6th obviously does not allow for either of those two to happen.
Now we'll let you keep an eye on those scenarios. Yeah. There's so many of them right now. I want to say hi to everyone in chat. Thank you, Julian, for my saying my voice sounds so good. It's still recovering a little bit.
Yeah, it was hot tea and honey. Is that what Johnson told you today?
And it works to a certain point, but after a while, you just end up having a lot of tea with honey and lemon in it. Where's Johnson in the In-N-Out Burger livery there? Of course, the nearest In-N-Out Burger to Indianapolis is probably a 2 or 3 day drive out west somewhere.
I stopped at an In-N-Out in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, all right. They've expanded a little bit to the west or east a little bit. Okay.
I don't know if that's the closest or not, but
that might be it. I was thinking
one that I've been to.
I was thinking it was more along the lines of going to be something in maybe Utah or California.
Yeah.
Of course, if you fly directly from the Indianapolis International Airport and you fly directly to LAX, there's a In-N-Out Burger right there next to 24 left. So
yeah, you can make it in time for lunch.
Yeah.
Justin Miller has pulled up now into this lead pack. Shane Coogan is not too far behind. Miller might have a go here on Bruno Miranda if things keep trending the way they are.
Bruno is using that high line. Go where the car in front of you is not to find the clean air, and that's where he is rolling. So the high line in race configuration is about a tenth faster than running the low line. Now, of course, when you want to run a qualifying configuration, you want to stay right down there on that white line. If not, get a wheel below it just a little bit, and maybe even on that concrete a little bit if you can, if you dare. I know one of the guys in chat, Jesper Ormans here, he loves putting that left front wheel right down there on that concrete, which loosens up the back end a little bit, helps the car rotate, but it's dangerous because you get it down there too much, it will over-rotate the car and stick you into the wall in a heartbeat. But right now in a race configuration, if you run that high line, it's about a tenth faster, and a lot of people don't know that, and you'll just start reeling the guy in front of you. There you see Caleb moving up now to maybe put a little defense in on Bruno behind him, keeping him guessing.
And when Sanders was running third on our first green flag stint, he was on the outside most of the time, and I kind of figured that was to make sure he was getting some air into the front of that car to make sure it's going to stick with corners. But now that you mention it, I guess it being the faster way around the track does make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, you're going to get the clean air. You're absolutely correct there. It is the faster line because the car is already unwound. You're not binding it down any. These cars are so sensitive to scrub when you turn the wheel that the less you turn the wheel, the more momentum you can. You can with stock cars, you can tend to power through that. With the IndyCar, it just kind of acts as yet another brake to kind of slow you down, and that's the last thing you want. So that high line keeps the car unwound really, and into the power revs, the power range of the revs, so they can get maximum pull down that straight. So much going on in these cars compared to stock cars. If you're watching right now and you're more of a stock car fan, you're really a stock car. You have your right foot that handles the acceleration. Your left foot may be the brake if you choose to do that way. You maybe adjust your brake bias a little bit. You maybe change a gear here and there, But with the Indy cars, you'll see these guys changing gears almost every lap. They can change the weight jacker almost every corner if they want to. They can change the roll bars every lap if they want to. Your hands are so much in motion. Your mind's moving with so many different variables in mind that if you do this, the car is going to operate better. If you do that, it's going to operate worse. It's just a little bit more than just turning that wheel and keeping your foot in the throttle.
And as somebody who grew up as a stock car fan and also is primarily a stock car iRacer here, it's not that I ever thought that running the IRA team was going to be easy. I just didn't think it was going to be as finicky and difficult as it was. So I've got a whole newfound respect, not that I didn't before, but a whole new respect for these drivers and the IRA team, because it's boy, it is hard to do, and when you do it right, it's just that much more impressive now that I know what it takes to actually wheel one of these things.
And let's take a look on the inside here. If, again, you're not familiar with IndyCar racing, let's pop up on the roll bar inside of your leader, Gavin Sanders, just above his head. I like to say that kind of when you're in a stock car, you're kind of flying a Cessna. There's not much to it. With an IndyCar, you're really looking at more of a jet fighter, to the point that you even have a canopy around you, and that the wheel that you hold even looks like, you know, a performance yoke, with all the different levers and everything, buttons and different readouts that you have on your dash. It's a little bit more like a jet fighter versus a more contemporary look. Now, stock cars are starting to get that way with their with the LCD dashboards now, and with the new next gen car, with having a couple extra gears and kind of operating a little bit more like a stock sports car. But Indy cars, compared to a stock car, if you could say it's like a jet fighter, it's probably an accurate comparison. Of course, making the jump from stock car to IndyCar doesn't happen very often. Jimmy Johnson, of course, trying that right now in the NTT IndyCar Series. You've seen his trials and tribulations. Kurt Busch attempted an Indy 500 here. Actually did pretty well that year. I believe that was that might have been that 2013 race that you were at with
I think
Tony Kanaan.
He was the next year, because I think the big story for that year was AJ Allmendinger, who I believe was still suspended from NASCAR at that time, or at least without a full-time ride.
Right.
He was was running up in that pack and actually had one of his belts come loose. Had to make a pit stop mid-race, and that pretty much took him out of it. Yeah,
he actually led off-cycle a good number of laps in that particular race. So that was the first AJ to lead at Indianapolis since I think AJ Foyt, when he started from the pole, he might have led not a pole, front row in 91 or 90, where he might have led a couple laps here and there. I know Foyt led a good number of the opening laps of the 82 race. But yeah, he was the first AJ to lead laps in Indianapolis since Foyt for a very long time. But yeah, I do remember that. And then, of course, Kurt Busch, when he came to Indianapolis, he drove for Andretti Motorsport, or Autosport at the time. And he did it pretty well. I think he finished solid top 10, maybe a top 5, and I think he might even got Rookie of the Year that year. But we'd like to see him compete a little bit more full-time to see what he would do. But I'd definitely like to see how his brother would do in one of these real life. I don't know how well he would do, but I'd definitely like to see him on one of the ovals.
There are so many NASCAR crossovers I'd love to see in IndyCar. I don't know. I don't really know who would boom and who would bust, but Kurt Busch was not somebody I had pegged to do well when he did it. But if I remember correctly, he finished 6th, which is, I mean, for a one-off run at the Indianapolis 500, that's pretty outstanding.
Kyle Larson, in my mind, no question, he would do well in these cars.
I absolutely agree with that 100%. I mean, he does well in everything that the sits in. So
I think he's in the same vein as Tony Stewart and AJ Foyt, where he can hop in anything and go, just go. And I think he could do well here. Now, back in the 70s, it was quite frequent to see the stock car drivers come to Indianapolis. The Yarborough brothers came here quite a bit. Allison's came here quite a bit. Stock car drivers regularly came to the Indianapolis 500 because they did not have the schedule conflict until Indy moved to, they always ran on Memorial Day, whereas IndyCar then moved to the Sunday before Memorial Day, and that brought up the conflict with the Coca-Cola 600.
We just had Justin Miller go through on Bruno Miranda in the North Chute there.
Now we're watching him, and we just watched that pass complete. So Justin Miller very patiently runs down Bruno Miranda, getting up to third, and now setting sail for Caleb Vinci.
I don't want to write an obituary too soon for Bruno Miranda's championship hopes, but what I will say is, coming off of his worst finish of the season last week at Indianapolis Road Course, he finished 11th. That is his only finish outside of the top 10. He has one other finish this season outside of the top 5, if I remember correctly. I mean, he is, for being the only driver in this championship battle really without a win this season, Bruno Miranda has been electric. Whether it goes his way today or not, I don't want anybody to lose sight of the fact that Bruno Miranda has put together a fantastic season.
While we got a bit of a down period here, do want to take care of some business real quickly. 54.9% of you watching right now are not subscribers to this channel already. We need you to change that. So right now, if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit the red subscribe button. Turn it gray for us. That's the best thing you could do. And help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. We're less than 100 to go now to get to that. Actually, we're less than 90 to go to get to that magical mark. So you can do us a big solid by hitting that subscribe button right now. We cannot get there without you, folks. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like button and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Race vs. iRacing broadcasts. Tomorrow night, we will be Championship Thursday. So we're having Championship Week this week. We got Championship Monday in Indy Fixed, Championship Wednesday in the RIL, Championship Thursday in the Stock Car Day Brazil Series. We will crown a champion in the Brazilian Stock Car Series tomorrow night. And then also on Friday, we will be covering the iRacing IndyCar Series top split on Friday at 2 p.m. at Watkins Glen. Of course, this is NTT IndyCar race weekend where they will be at Portland. Of course, Portland not on the iRacing surface, so they are racing at Watkins Glen as a substitute. Caleb Vinci starting to reel in Gavin Sanders a little bit.
We got Bruno Miranda down pit road.
This is a scheduled stop. He is stopping a little bit early.
Into his box nice and cleanly, is not picked up a penalty coming down pit road. And he's off and away. Also, while you were taking care of business there, Drew White went through on Christopher Hill. Hill then had to fend off Logan Spath. That was for, I believe, 6th or 7th at the time. But now that they've gone through Miranda, that is for 6th.
And most everyone at the front here, and then we'll cover some other business once we're done with these pit stops. We are at the 30-lap mark for a lot of these guys, so I expect them to start heading down pit road any lap now.
For anybody else that's going to peel off and head to pit road here. Not looking like any takers inside of the top 12 or so. And indeed, nobody coming this time. I will say Dakota DeMaine cycled out in front of Bruno Miranda by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, we got Dakota there. Dakota is looking at about another 10 laps before he's going to have to stop. Coming up to the halfway point in 3 laps for everybody. Here comes Gavin Sanders on pit road. Slowing it down to that magical mark where he gets on the limiter there at the cones there.
Isidro, Lemon, Cosgrove all hitting pit road as well, further back in the field. Watching the black flag indicator, looks like everybody's getting down to speed okay. And Paul Mikolajczyk also in pit road. I really just wanted to say that name one time to see how it rolled off the tongue.
Gavin slides in a little cockeyed, but it helps on his exit out. He is down and away, and he is going to, let's see how close he cycles out to Dakota. Here comes Dakota. Wow, Dakota jumps him.
Yeah. By quite a bit. Bruno Miranda might also, he's going to be pretty close here.
He's going to be right behind him, but he's still coming up to speed. Bruno's got momentum coming, and the draft coming into threes. He's going to take a look. Still a little too far. Going to take a look at the outside. Is he going to take a peek there? Nope. Gavin comes up, actually throws a little bit of a block on him.
And that arrow wash is so hard to contend with.
And
more leaders calling out this time. Bensey should be hitting pit road.
Bensey, Miller, Coogan, Johnston, Drew White, Christopher Hill. Everybody's now coming down. Logan Spath, Matt Houston. All your main leaders are coming down pit road right now. Neil Lusher staying out for another lap. I will move him up in the order a little bit. Actually, he'll like him lead a lap probably.
All right, for Crusher, Lusher, how about it? That clean stops most of the way through. No black flags on this pit cycle yet.
Johnston's going to make a get a spot. Ooh, so close on Coogan. Coogan maintains.
Wow. Not cutting any of the championship frontrunners any breaks today, are we?
Bruno jumps Bensey. That's key right there. Johnston down to 8th.
So it's definitely not been the race that Nicholas Johnston has wanted. Qualified in 9th. I think the highest he's really been is 6th, and has just kind of floated around that general area this entire run.
Today's race coverage brought to you by Heinekamp Financial Planning and Tax Services. Heinekamp is a family-run, Indiana-based business that offers a full range of financial planning and tax services, including investment planning, tax preparation, retirement planning, insurance planning, and estate planning. Additionally, they offer a full slate of small business services as well. For more information, visit HeinekampFinancial.com or visit their broadcast or visit their website via the link in our broadcast description below. They are tonight's sponsors, and thank you very much for sponsoring the Heinekamp Financial 300 here in Indianapolis.
So Neil Lusher has pit. Dakota DeMade is going to cycle out to the lead. He's got about a 0.6 of a second advantage right now over Gavin Sanders. Miranda, Bensey, Miller going to be your top 5 after that.
Dakota due on pit road probably in the next 3 to 4 laps. And while we wait on that, let's get a small word in from Schaeffer's, the series sponsor here of the RIL, Schaeffer's IndyCar Series.
There's 2 types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
And speak of the devil, there he is on pit road. Did he get down? Ooh, that was real close.
Dom not showing a black flag.
That was really close, though. But
he really pushed it in there. And Sanders has hit lap traffic. He has gotten through on Yoshikawa.
Yeah, that's you got to hit that cone as hard as you can. Otherwise, you're just leaving time and speed on the table. So now your new leader is Gavin Sanders, Bruno Miranda P2, Caleb Bency P3, Justin Miller P4, Shane Coogan P5. That's been pretty much your top 5 for much of the race. Nicholas Johnson P6, Drew White up 9 spots up to P7. Nicholas Isidro, remember, he might have qualified 7th, but he had an EOL. He is 8th. Logan Spath, he is 9th. He's up 1 spot. Christian Jasper, there's Christian right there. He is worked his way up to the 10th spot. He is up 3. Christopher Hill in 11th. And our big gainer right now on the day, Matt Houston, the boss man, up 12 spots, up to P12.
Miranda looking to the inside of Yoshikawa, who really did not put up much of a fight when Sanders approached him, but has really given Miranda some guff here. And I seem to remember Yoshikawa influencing the end of the race last season as well. Big run here from Bency. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, and that's going to be who's going to lift last or lift first, and that was Miranda. Because right now I think he has the most to lose out of those 3. And Yoshikawa just scoots along the outside and keeps the position. Track position, that is.
Miller's going to have a run on Miranda now heading into turn 3 as well. He takes a peek to the inside. All with Yoshikawa still in front of him.
Bency pulls off the pass. I mean, Yoshikawa's giving him room in the corners. He's going up high.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with anything Yoshikawa is doing.
Nope, I don't think he is either.
He has a right to try and stay onto the tail of the lead lap and hang with the leaders if at all possible to pick up more spots.
Yes.
As more cars start to come their way. And he's doing an admirable job of trying to stay out of the way. It's just kind of the nature of the beast that these cars are so hard to pass, whether they're running in 19th or running in 3rd.
And once again, you see where I said that he's working that high side. High side keeps that momentum up, and he's able to defend on the high side. So the high side, during race configuration, you can attack and defend up on the high side.
But Miranda's going to be the big loser on that one.
Yeah,
Second
he sure
to
is.
4th.
And he's not going to be, I don't know how happy he's going to be about that, but he's got to get the pass done. And he's not going to be able to get it done in 1.
And now here comes Shane Coogan. And Nicholas Johnson looms 1 car behind.
Lap 68, the snake down the backstretch in full effect. There's Shane
Yoshi
Coogan.
might just give him this one. Yeah. It's one thing to fight so hard here at Indianapolis because of what's at stake here, just for this race alone. But then, traditionally the first 3 seasons, this has been the first race after the break in the schedule, and now it's the championship race for this season and next season at least, maybe more going forward. So it just makes it that much more prestigious and meaningful, and every pass, every bit of track position matters that much more.
Now, there is a little precedent to have Indianapolis as the last race on the schedule. It was attempted back in the inaugural Indy Racing League season in '96. They had a little mini season where they raced Disney, Phoenix, and Indianapolis, and the first season championship wrapped up in Indianapolis that season. That was a tie by Buzz Calkins and Scott Sharp. And then they started what they call the 96-97 season with the next race at New Hampshire in the 80s and the 96 season. Then it went New Hampshire, Las Vegas, and then they switched to, and they used the old cars for those first 2 races. Then they went to the new cars in 97, to the new Formula cars, the G-Force and the Dallara chassis at the time. And and that was like also the Riley and Scott, and they had the Infinity engine and the Aurora engine. They were all stock blocks. They sounded like stock cars, but they had wings. Then they went to January, and then they went to Indianapolis, Phoenix, and then back to Indianapolis again. And they had Indianapolis. They wanted to end at Indianapolis. But they did not, I guess the fans did not like how the season ended the year before. It just seemed really odd, or sponsors had a hard time with it or something. And so they decided just to move and continue through the season after Indianapolis and conclude the season at Las Vegas at the end of the calendar year 97. And that's why there's a 96-97 season if you look at the history of the IRL. So they tried to make Indianapolis that last race for one season, and it just didn't sit well with everybody.
It is weird. It's a weird position for it to be, or would be in real life. I mean, we get a little bit of leeway since iRacing, but it's just, it means that much more. It's really a double down, if you will. We just had Paul Mikolajczyk.
There we go, yep. Watching him. And he's letting everyone go pretty smoothly. He's staying up high here.
Yeah, he rolled out of it. He was blinking a little bit as Gavin Sanders approached him. Sanders got on the button and said, hey, you need to let us by. Can't really tell where you're at. And now here comes Bensey with another run.
Oh, Coogan.
Bensey goes to the lead. Coogan
gets the pass on Miranda. And Miranda, again, lap traffic is killing the storm at the moment. Yeah, Tony George was that was his vision, to have Indianapolis as the last race on the championship, and it just good idea in theory. A lot of his ideas were good in theory. Some would argue not so much, but good in theory, bad in practice.
So as Bensey and Sanders battle for the lead there, Justin Miller just attached himself to this battle with a head of steam.
Here he is. Look at his side.
A 3-car. Oh man. Christopher Hill is just disconnected. I wonder what happened.
I saw some smoke in the turn 1 area, and I'm wondering maybe if he had a moment and had to got a toe there. But he is out now.
That.
And that moves Yoshikawa to 18th, Malajek up to 17th, DeMade, who is running ahead of all this, but behind because of the pits. He's still on the lead lap, last car on the lead lap. He just passed DL Lemon in the pits, who looks like it might be in for a... that's a long stop.
Unscheduled for sure.
Unscheduled, yep.
The contact was between Lemon and Hill. Hill was a little bit off the pace. I'm not sure exactly why, but he left the bottom open for DL Lemon and came down a little bit. Lemon is going to have some pretty significant front wing damage to that Hill. Absolutely destroyed. Good job by Matt Cosgrove, who was the first one onto the scene to miss all of that. But we stay green. Just a little bump there from Lemon, who had Hill coming down in front of him. Just a closing rate accident, if you will.
Just the one caution. Whoa, Dakota got a little loose in turn 1, it looked like, but he's back underway. Maybe it gets at a weird camera angle. It just looked loose to me, but he is now 15th and by himself. Right in the front of him for position is Neil Lusher by about a half a lap at the moment. So Dakota's waiting for this pit cycle to go through. Bruno Miranda is really due to stop here in about 8 to 9 laps, depending on how much he's saving in his current position.
And he needs a Hail Mary. I mean, stick to the strategy, but he really needs some good luck to go
Johnston
his way.
To the inside. He's going to send it in the 1, down low. When these tires get worn out, down low is not the place to pass. Up high, the momentum keeps you going. That's how Bruno's able to defend. He holds them off. We got a little Spanish lesson, or Brazilian lesson, actually Portuguese lesson in chat. I don't want to say Resagados equals lappers.
Oh.
Lappers, no good, fair play with Bruno.
Yeah, it's definitely been his Achilles heel thus far in this race. Really just passing in general, finding that clean air, able to, put your car wherever you need it to go. And Bruno, to his credit, Made no mock qualifying runs in practice. He was out in the pack the entire time, working, searching to try and find ways to get around cars. I'm not sure how much success he found in practice, but he certainly has not had any luck in this race whatsoever.
If you're just joining us, this is race first coverage of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series coming to you from Indianapolis, where we've completed 79 of a scheduled 120 laps. If you're enjoying race first coverage of tonight's race, make sure you support the channel by liking tonight's broadcast. Hey, share it with a friend. But best yet, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you're notified about future RIL events. We will join you back here again on Race First with the RIL December 7th. Another day that will live in infamy. Want to say hi to those in chat. Alan Marrera, see you in there. He's one of our regular participants in the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split race. And chat's saying there might be a little discrimination in there. Yeah, it's a tough call. You still got to pull off the pass. And where he was battling with Yoshikawa was trying to keep the leaders within sight. Now, I agree that if I'm like Yoshikawa and I'm back here battling people that are 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and I don't see the leaders, that might be a little too much. And etiquette says I should probably let them go. But if I can still see the leaders and I'm a lapped car, I'm going to keep my foot in it because anything can happen around me, and if I could keep the leaders in front of me and the leaders pit, I stay out, I get the wave around. And you just got to think about the wave around rule when it comes to IndyCar. Again, no lucky dogs here. Wow, actually there's lucky dogs in this league. In real IndyCar racing, there is no lucky dogs, but in this league, you do have the lucky dogs. So how that works here in this league is the first car a lap down will get the wave around, and then the next car, if there's another car behind him that's still behind the pace car, all those other cars will get the wave around until the pace car picks up the leader. So it's like a dual wave around rule type thing. Not a big fan of the lucky dog. I think it's a bit of a gimmick, but I do like the fact that the wave around rule is there because I've seen IndyCar races in the past where restarts have been dictated by lap traffic, and that's not the way to go.
Bensie's pulled out to about a 7/10 of a second lead over Gavin Sanders. And as it runs right now, Bensie would need Nicholas Johnston to finish 7th or worse. Nicholas Johnston runs 6th.
It's getting close, and we still have a lot that can happen. And so let's take a peek back here in 7th. Drew White is now Caleb Bensie's biggest friend.
Absolutely. He's dubbed the Oval Master for a reason. Anytime he can make it into the late into the running of one of these, he always shows his teeth.
He got real close to corner 2 entry to the point that the protective software made the sound that he made contact with the turn 2 wall. He did not, but if you were watching the broadcast, you heard that little thud, but he was nowhere close to the wall. But he is trying to run down Nicholas Johnston. He is abreast of him currently right now by 6/10, losing ground a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting whether it ends up going his way or not that Bensie would have his back against the wall here of all places. He's won 2 of the RIL races here at Indianapolis on top of his, 3 championships? I mean, it's just interesting that he comes into the position of being 3rd in the championship, looking for another title at the final race at probably his best track.
He's won here in the FIS. Sidro almost kissing the turn 2 wall, or turn 3 wall. He won the FIS first Indy 500 race here, which was Indy 250. They won 100 lappers, 100 laps, excuse me. In another league that I used to broadcast at, now that I broadcast for the FIS, I shan't mention them any longer. He won an unbelievable race there. Didn't lead a single lap all day until the 2 leaders were side by side pretty much for the final 10 laps. and they weren't paying attention to him as they were running to the checker, and he snuck underneath them and got the win and led one lap the entire day. That was it. And so he has at least 2 other league wins here, Caleb, at Indianapolis. So I know absolutely can do it. And Isidro into the wall off of corner number 4. We were just watching that. That's going to open the door to Spath. He might be damaged. He sounds like he's fully powered, but there's definite contact there. There's Isidro driving that Michael Andretti, Newman Haas, also D'Amata drove that, as well as Christian Fittipaldi, all during the kart days. That livery never made a lap here in competition in Indianapolis. You would think it did because how long Newman Haas ran it, but it never ran here in Indianapolis.
Miranda on pit road. Clean entry. Didn't push it too hard. So we are back getting ready to go once again on this green flag cycle. Nice and easy into the box as well.
Down and away. Here comes Caleb, or Dakota, excuse me, right around him. So Dakota gets the position. So that put Bruno, now he is looking at 30 laps from now. And we break out the calculator and you do the math. He is going to be just a couple short. So he needs to conserve, and he either that, hope for some caution. And as this field whittles down and these cars get separated because of the aero push, cautions become fewer and fewer. What you really need is incidents like we almost saw with Isidro getting into the wall and a caution to occur that way. You're not going to see very many multi-car incidents from here on out, just because how everyone's spread out. He needs to conserve 2 laps or hope for some caution. Otherwise, he's got himself a splash to go late in the race when he needs to do that the least.
And DeMate is about 5 seconds clear on Miranda. But DeMate, I'm not sure if he thought we were going to have one more caution and he would kind of get on the same strategy, or how his strategy is going to play out. I'm not very good at math. I can't see it working to his benefit as of now. But
well,
he is much smarter than I am, so maybe he's got it figured out.
He is 24, now 25 laps into his current stint, so he has about another 5 laps to go. He will get to the neighborhood of 94, and he pits at 94. The math says either way he's good to go by 4 laps to get to 120.
Christian Jasper, who I don't think we've mentioned all day, is on pit road.
There he's been up into the top 10. Watching him from the paddock stands here, down and away.
Neil Lusher just made some contact with the wall, but it looks like all the tires are still straight on that, so no harm, no foul.
We see Neil
White, Justin Miller, Gavin Sanders, Benzie.
Coogan picks up the lead.
Logan Spath and Matt Houston as well, also on the pit road. No black flags as of yet. Everybody's done a good job of getting down to pit road speed safely, but quickly, I guess. Efficiently, that's the better term.
Revolution Indy League's IndyCar Series sponsorship brought to you by Schaeffer Oil. We want to thank them again for their season-long support and support for next season. Racing is in their blood. It's what they love. At Schaeffer's, their racing products help teams spend less resources on replacing parts and changing fluids, just like we're watching teams do right now on pit road, and more time out of the track, which I think everybody hitting pit road wishes. Designed for extreme performance, Schaeffer racing lubricants reduce friction, wear, and heat. Season after season, racers depend on Schaeffer's racing products to keep their cars always ready for the next race. Check out SchaefferOil.com, where you can search for the nearest retailer today, or click on their link in the broadcast description below. That is Schaeffer's.
I'm not too sure if something didn't happen to Gavin Sanders, because he just came out behind everybody. Or am I on the wrong lap?
No, Gavin he pitted a little bit earlier. He was on pit road for 48.2, in the box for 11, which that's going to take him to a full tank. That's a little bit longer on pit road, so he might have missed his spot.
And Christian Jasper is back on pit road. He's got a meatball.
All right, so he must have made some contact, unfortunately, with the concrete.
Nicholas Johnson going to pit from the lead.
And we are having these moments where we're late in the race, moments of we lose a little bit of concentration, and you smack the wall. Johnson done, down and away. Neil Lusher is assuming the lead. Bensi passes. Justin passes. Bruno passes. Coogan passes. Johnston in 6th. And he has Drew White with a full head of steam breathing down his neck down the backstretch. So Gavin Sanders back to 11th.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go back and see what the miscue was, and maybe it was just speeding. Maybe he slid through his box. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't see
I think
it.
he slid through his box based upon an 11-second stop.
Go ahead and rewind here.
Yeah, he was also on pit road a good 7 seconds longer than everyone else. And he was in the pit box a good 3 seconds longer than everyone else. So I don't know, maybe if he got into the pit road and went sideways.
Yeah, he missed it by about a box and a half, and then slid back and parked it too far to the left. So it was not only a slide through, but it was a back out and a parallel park, basically. So he lost a ton of time.
Well, that's not going to help his teammate. That's not going to help his teammate, Caleb Bensi, because Caleb is going to pick up the lead here momentarily with Neil Lusher. 33 laps into his current stint. I would imagine Neil is going to come to pit road about any time. Neil likes to play the long game.
Love to see Neil out front here.
And here he comes to pit road. So that brings Caleb to the lead here momentarily.
So just to reiterate here, as we're kind of heading towards the end game, Bensi winning requires Johnston to finish 7th or worse.
Johnston currently P6.
And with
now
a Bensi
P5.
win, Miranda does not factor into the equation whatsoever. So a Bensi win with Johnson in 7th or worse is his path to the title right now. But it's being blocked.
And actually, Johnson led a lap, so making sure we take that point into consideration as well.
Yep.
Okay, good. Good. Up to the moment stats. Just like real broadcast. Who we fooling?
Hey, AWS, we got it. Crofty be damned.
Even though he's not on the Speedway Network, Mike King, I'm coming after you. He's the former voice of the IMS Radio Network. Actually, Justin Miller getting a bit of a run on Caleb to the point that Caleb's thinking about making some defense down the backstretch due to a little bit of a weave. Miller high side in turn 3. Got a little bit of forward momentum. Is going to bring him just a little bit closer. Caleb up high this time in turn 4 to play defense. But here is Justin. He's right there.
Not to jinx it, but boy, wouldn't it be historic for Justin Miller to walk away with a dub here. Oh, he had a run, didn't take it.
I am always, and I don't want to say I'm great friends with Justin. I'm good friends. He actually drove for me in a truck series, and he got my team my first ever win and at any level in iRacing. So I owe an awful lot to him in that, and actually of all things a truck series because I'm more of an IndyCar guy. But Yeah, and I'm trying to recruit him and groom him for the Lionheart Speedway Series next season. Maybe be a teammate there, future for it. And he is unbelievable oval driver. And there you see him getting that wing and nose well below Caleb's car in turn 1, getting that clean air on those planes.
Yeah, anytime I need oval practice, I know it's going to be a populated session. I always look for Justin. I'm sure he doesn't really enjoy that much, but he's always fun to run with.
Now he's made it side by side in the short chute. Caleb gives him a little bit of a squeeze up near the wall.
Man, that was tough.
And the weave begins. Coming to lap 100, 20 to go. Side by side in the 1. I don't think either one of them is going to lift.
Bensy has to remember what else is on the line. Yes, he wants to win at Indy again, but he could be in position for another championship.
Justin just gets the nose there. Doesn't have the short line around. Pinches him a little bit on exit.
And for Justin, this is all that's on his mind. He's got nothing to gain and nothing to lose.
We watched him on Monday night run down Pablo Diaz-Francis. And not only run him down, but stick with him and pass him. And just like that,
He's
on the
gonna
high
have
side,
it.
clear, and he passes. New leader going into the short chute in turn 2.
All right. Now it's defense. Bensy's not going to go quietly.
No, but Johnston has got to be liking what he's seeing right now. Mathematically, he is in a very good spot. Both of them way high, exit of 3 into the chute.
With Bensy back to second, it requires a Miranda particular finish, and it also requires Johnson to finish in 16th. There are only 17 cars running on the track right now.
Yeah, it looks like Jasper is on pit road with an extended stop due to damage. So Malajic is currently the last car on the track at 17th. Yoshikawa 16th. Dakota DeMaid back there in 15th as he's waiting for the pit cycle to change out. These guys are going to be real close. They're 11 laps on the current stint. So they will be right about E as we come to the white flag and checkered here at Indianapolis. Inside Caleb.
Oh, he's going to have him. Wow.
And I've noticed while these guys have been battling, it's been ticking down, and he is in the draft envelope at the moment. Shane Coogan, 1.1 abreast of this battle.
He's got the other 2 championship challengers in his wake as well.
Thought I heard a car skidding.
Yeah, I think you sure did.
Oh, Drew White and Isidro are in massive heat with each other at the moment. Logan Spatz gets the run on him. He's up to 6th. Here's Isidro. Looks like there's a little bit of anger involved here. Not sure what happened. Isidro almost into the wall again. Matt Houston, let's ride along with Matt Houston in the race first car. He's a very interested party. Looking at these 2 guys that are decided to turn the aggression level up to 10, now to 11. Isidro jerks the car to the inside. Look at the inside on 3, side by side. And we almost get contact. We got contact. There it is, and there's your caution. Caution on the racetrack.
Isidro and White are not happy over the radio.
You saw it. You saw it.
Thrown.
You saw it coming. You saw it coming. It was there. It was the writing was on the wall, and that's why we had a director cut to the roll cage cam of Matt Houston. That was the writing was absolutely on the wall for that.
So when you said that you heard the tires squealing, they actually made contact twice through 3 and 4 before they even started battling side by side. Isidro had a peek. He made contact. Then he made contact with him again, and then the next lap is when they crashed.
So the situation here with that and how race control will take care of last race incidents, since there's going to be no EOLs or anything to start the next season. Who's ever at fault for that, if race control deems somebody at fault, that will probably end up being a lap penalty or some sort of lap penalty issued to that driver. But right now, we have Caleb Vinci as your leader. He is going to take the pump fake down pit road. Is he going to go? Nope. That is a clear pump fake.
Johnson stays out.
Miranda comes in, and Matt Houston comes in. So this is, I think, a very wise move. You got nothing to lose at this point with these two.
Certainly not. Miranda has not had the run that he's needed today. Why not get yourself off of a different strategy?
And Dakota DeMaid got himself a bit of a lifeline, and he's going to stay out because he's good to the end. He's not going to pit for new rubber. He's going to opt for track position, and he's going to park himself in P8 now behind Neil Lusher. Gavin Sanders all of a sudden has been rescued. He is now up to 6th. He's staying out. Logan Spath is in 5th. Okay. Team orders now. If I'm race first team orders, I'm telling Spath, Sanders, and DeMaid, by all means, push as hard as possible, and you need to pass Nick Johnston in order to secure the championship for Caleb Vinci. That has got to be your team orders if you're race first, as you got to get ahead of Nick Johnston. Nick, I don't think, has any teammates up there. He's with Team Watson. I don't think Team Watson has. I think Team Watson just has P11 currently in the race with JJ Wang. Maybe I'm not sure what Team Matt Cosgrove's with. Nagasiya Yoshikawa is with Team Watson, but again, a couple of these guys are lap down or lower in the order that they can't really help attack or defend. So race first team orders should be to attack, to get past around Neil Lusher as quick as possible and attack Nicholas Johnston.
And that I agree with for sure. But then after that happens, if it happens, the responsibility definitely lies on Vinci, because if he even finishes second, it is impossible for him to win the championship. Nicholas Johnson, if Vinci were to finish runner-up to whoever, Johnson would need to finish 16th. I do not think we're going to have 16 cars even left running in this race, or maybe 16 on the number. So Vinci has to win this race, no matter what his teammates can do.
Okay, we have a real quick window to do a real quick side-by-side for Schaeffer's, and then we will pick up the race to the end.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment, and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon, and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer, and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
We are back to what is going to be, hopefully, an exciting conclusion to this 12 race summer schedule of the Revolution Indy League Schaeffer IndyCar Series. Mathematically, there's a lot of things at play here. Caleb Vinci's doing everything he possibly needs to do to go from third to first in this championship. Nicholas Johnson, who is in P4, is doing everything that he needs to do mathematically to maintain the lead in this championship by going P4. But right behind him, he has Logan Spath, which is a teammate to Caleb Vinci. Gavin Sanders is a teammate to Logan Spence. God dang it, I can't say. Caleb Vinci, and then you have Neil Lusher. You have a lapped car in there at DL Lemon, and then Dakota DeMaid. So Dakota to get up there is going to be even harder now with lap traffic. We're getting ready to go green here. How is this going to turn out? Going 13 laps, 12 laps to go when we get to the line.
Remember, the magic number now with a lap lead for Nicholas Johnson is 5th. If he finishes 5th or better, he ices any hope that either of the other two have.
If I'm Coogan, I help defend. I help keep Johnson from passing. But right now, Coogan is going to attack. Up high into 3. We got a trio of 3 in 3. Gavin Sanders, Logan Spath are together now.
You see
Here
how far
comes
Coogan
Johnson.
fell back. Fell way off of these front two. Johnson goes through.
He had the lift there in 4, and that gave Johnson the run. Johnson now up to 4th. Up to 3rd, actually. And now we have Miller and Coogan, Miller and Binsey back up side by side again. And this is just kind of opening the door for Johnson, who might just want to make it 3 wide.
Why not? Win the championship, win the race. Oh man, he had a look there and didn't take it.
Oh, Coogan get a look on the inside. He had a heck of a run and had to take evasive action before getting into the back of Johnston.
Here comes Miller again to the inside of Binsey. These are the championship hopes going up in smoke for Caleb Binsey. With Johnson in 3rd, and now he's back to 2nd. Temporarily, he's coming back on the outside. Johnson's going to have another run. Wow!
Johnson going to shoot the middle.
Oh, man.
This is not a start of the Indy 500. We are 10 laps to go here in Indianapolis. No 3 wides going to the 1.
Johnson falls back. He might pick up Coogan on his next charge up to the front. If he elects to even do that, why put yourself in such a precarious position? Finishing 3rd steals him the championship with ease.
Gavin getting a run on the outside of Logan, getting the pass complete. Now Gavin can work on Shane. Don't rule out Gavin.
I'm not ruling out anybody. If you got a running car, you might win this.
Well, as the saying goes, to finish first you must finish, and that is half the battle.
Boy, Miller fell way back at Binsey there.
And watch him running that high line there through 3, kind of teeter-tottering there on the edge. Thing about running that high line, it's faster, but that exit and that wall comes up on you much quicker than if you're running the low line. Well, Paul Malejik in the rear there almost got a little kiss with the turn 4 wall, so he can get a little squirrely. That long shot.
Keeping an eye on Miranda with fresh tires. Man, he just made a daring pass to the outside of a much slower DL Lemon, who's a lap down.
Yeah,
but, he's up to 7th.
DL might be damaged, and he is on Spath to the inside. He's going to push him up against the wall. He's sending it. There's not much room there. Side by side through 3. Miranda takes the position.
We talked about him having trouble passing cars. He had no problems with that one. That was the tightest pass that he's been, or the tightest position he's been in all day, and made the pass with ease.
Yeah, that's one of those threading the needle where you don't lick the thread so it's all nice and straight. That's just kind of hoping that it goes when you sit there blindly stabbing at it. And that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, I tell you, Miranda needs some blind stabs. Not a bad idea.
Miranda inside of Gavin Sanders, loose off at 2, pushes him down to the apron. He's back but gets the position on Gavin Sanders. And now Miranda's up to 5th. So those new tires are making a difference.
Absolutely driving like a man possessed, and he needs to. Spath just went through on Sanders, as did Matt Houston.
Seven to go.
Here comes Miller.
At the line. Miller tries to send it, does not get it.
Shuts the door. Bensey's playground is that bottom. He is really aggressive, putting those lefts below
Sanders
the white line.
spinning in the wall. In the turn 2, up against the outside. Are we going to get a caution? He's still rolling.
The caution is out.
Oh boy.
So
I think Gavin might be damaged somehow because the way that he got loose. So he's going to take a look at pit road. We are going to have a natural green-white checker.
Oh, man. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, race fans. How about it?
Yeah, no red flags here, folks. No, none of that gimmicks. No green-white. We're going to do a natural green-white checker. The race limit is 300 laps or 300 miles, 120 laps. No special things. This is how it's going to end. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of green-white checkers.
No. And just to reiterate here, I know I've said it a couple of times, but this is our finale. We're crowning a champion at the end of this race. And as of now, that champion would be Nicholas Johnston. He needs to finish 5th or better, no matter who wins this race, and he will clinch the championship. He is doing 2 spots better than that right now on the bottom step of the podium. But now everybody's back in play. Everybody's back in play.
Yep. Got a little pull of the sweet tea here. I know we got a massive call coming on here. Now, we have 12 cars on the lead lap. I would suspect those at the end of the lead lap, probably everyone from Houston on back is going to pit. Let's see. A lot of people are going to do the pump fake, and I don't think anyone's going to fall for it. No,
yeah,
Houston staying out. Lusher staying out. Wang, who's worked his way up to the lead lap, he is staying out. Cosgrove staying out. Sanders going down pit road, and he has his wheel cocked at a very bad angle to the right. So he has damage. Dakota is coming down with him. Dakota is going to slap on a pair of new shoes and send this thing for all it's worth in these last 3 laps when this thing goes green.
And this might statistically be Dakota's worst finish at Indianapolis, but that's not really saying much because he's just had some incredible runs at this track, and he's more than likely going to get a top 10 finish out of it anyway. So if that's his bad day, I'll take his bad day any day.
And he's kind of parked it on pit road, so I think he might be playing wingman right now with Gavin, kind of waiting for Gavin to clear pit road, and he'll probably come out with them. But the engine is off right now for Dakota on pit road, and I think this is more of a wingman move. Right now, pace car, still with the lights on, going down the backstretch, midway down the backstretch.
Here's your, I like to throw out a useless statistic every race that I work. So here's your useless statistic today. Dakota DeMate has never missed an RIL race. That obviously means that he's got the most starts, but he has never finished worse than 21st. That is his worst finish ever in RIL competition.
And that is a reason why he is a former champion here in the RIL.
Yeah.
Caleb trying to burn off some extra fuel there as we are riding along on top of him at the moment.
So is this caution, I'll pose this question to you, a good thing or a bad thing for Miranda? Because he was cooking and booking before. Not sure if he would have had enough time to make it up there. But what do you think? No,
absolutely good thing for Miranda because he's going to have his aggression level turn to if there's a knob that goes to 10 on him, he's going to break the knob and because he can't go any farther than 10 because he's going to have it turned up to that point. And he's going to send it. He's got nothing to lose at this point. I believe he might now be in 3rd place. I don't know if he even still has 2nd place. So, I mean, he has to do he's got nothing to lose at this point. He's really got nothing to lose. And I think he has, even if he falls to 3rd, I think he has 3rd secured. That I don't think Dakota in 4th can pass. So I would go for it. Absolutely.
So it's full send time. We're about to watch the storm roll in, I think. And the good news for Nicholas Johnston is that there are not 16 positions that are running on the track right now. So if Bensy does not win, he'll still secure the championship, even if I don't know, somebody were to wreck Nicholas Johnston here in the closing laps.
It's still possible, yeah, but Brazilian fan club is strong and loud in chat. We want to thank you guys for staying up late and watching this. 3 laps to go. We will go green with 2 to go.
Oh, my. The entire season, your entire body of work for the entire season is going to come down to a restart at the Mecca of motorsports.
And remember, last year it came down to one incident that occurred at Red Bull Ring that Isidro, Nate Seifert had a problem, and that cost him the championship. And now we're into the minutia, small details of a championship right here in Indianapolis. Green flag, we are going for a championship. 2 to go.
Coogan fending off Miranda, who's peeking the outside. Boy, Miranda just had a huge run, and it was just stuffed.
Oh, Caleb down to the apron. We're going 3 wide. Justin Miller. Oh, Justin. Justin, catch it, buddy. Catch it. Johnson's at the P2. Coming to the white flag. Caleb doing the weave.
This is Johnson's title to lose. Can he take the race with him on his way?
Oh, contact. We're gonna stay green.
Miranda and Miller.
Bincy, Johnson, Coogan, Spath, Houston, Lusher, Wang, now to Maid, up to 8th. Coogan trying to hold off Spath. Caleb Bincy with the 3-car length lead, going into the short chute, going through turn 4, looking for a home in the checkered flag in the yard of bricks here at Indianapolis. He wins the battle, but not the war. Nicholas Johnson is your RIL champion. Caleb Bincy wins at Indianapolis. Woo! Yeah, Alex Van de Sande in chat, rip. Yeah. Yeah, that was a rip.
Miller and Miranda both had to tow. And golly, what a horrible ending.
Another race in the closing instances where Justin Miller gets into it with a Brazilian driver. He probably wants to forget this week right now. That happened Monday, and it happened again here on Wednesday in the RIL. And I, as his good friend, I do feel sorry for him. Too much bad luck for Miranda. Yeah, Miranda, just not his day. But I tell you, if there was a soldier of the race, really, besides Nicholas Johnston, it would have been Miranda, because he fought back, fell back, fought back, fell back, fought back, fell back, short pitted, lost track position, fought back, did everything that he could possibly do, left it all out on the racetrack.
What it looked like happened was Miller went a little too far below the white line, just had a little tank slapping, a little wobbling going on, straight up the track, nowhere for Miranda to go. Everybody else avoided it, but those two end up in 11th and 12th.
And we got to take a look at these final results here from the Brickyard. 16th in Georgetown, my home base. Caleb Bincy, your winner. His another win for him at Indianapolis in the RIL. Nicholas Johnston secures a championship with a P2. Did everything he needed to do. Mathematically, his day is today. Shane Coogan, solid P3. He worked his way up 3 spots, was up there all day long. He manages to finish on the bottom step. Logan Spath, boy, he came on strong this season, up 6 spots to finish 4th. He was right there looking at the bottom step, just could not pull off the path. Matt Houston, the boss man, up 20 spots to finish P5. Top 5 for Matt. That's going to be a great points day for him. We're going to look at the points, final points here. We're not going to have that graphic, but what we're going to do is, well, I will share that snippet from the webpage. Neil Lusher, a 6th place finish, and he's making victory laps right now. Full speed victory laps for the Brit. He finished 6th, one of his best finishes of the year. JJ Wang, P7. Dakota DeMaid works his way up to P8. DL Lemon goes to the front, falls to the back, goes to the front, gets himself a top 10. P9. Matt Cosgrove, P10. Bruno Miranda, Justin Miller, the battle that finished in heartbreak for both these guys in 11th and 12th. Paul Malajic, he's 13th. Gavin Sanders, his damage relegated him to 14th. Yoshikawa, 15th. Isidro and White, that's going to be an interesting meeting of the track stewards to discuss that one. 16th and 17th, Christian Jasper, 18th. Christopher Hill, 19th. Lewis Woodall, 20th. The remainder of the field, Hunter Ingram, Matthew Short, Caleb Morrissey, Jonathan Liebertor, Michael Heinekamp, Trey Mitz, and Christopher Kresge. Rounding out the 27-car field here in the last race, Championship Wednesday of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. So, everyone should be in the waiting room, I think. Yeah, they're all there. So, we will, what we'll do here is we'll bring in Coogan first, and we will bring in Caleb next. He was the winner, and then we will talk to the series champion last. So, we will do that just momentarily. Got a message here from Kresge, got the final standings here. We'll bring those up on another monitor, and we will update everybody that here momentarily. Actually, I will do this right now. And I will drag that right here onto the screen with the snipping tool. Nicholas Johnson is your champion by 21 points over Caleb Binsey. 63 points over Bruno Miranda, 105 over Dakota DeMaid. Gavin Sanders, 5th. Matt Houston, 6th. Shane Coogan, 7th. Seifert, by missing today's race, loses 3 spots, finishes 8th. Isidro, 9th. And Logan Spath, 10th. That is your final RIL standings. We'll consult those momentarily here as we go through the interview process. And actually, I do, for the sake of being fair, and because I know he has another race that he needs to get to momentarily in the Lionheart Series, let's go ahead and bring Caleb up first so he can talk to us and then we can let him go. So let's go ahead and do that. Hey, Caleb, we're going to bring you up first because I know you're pressed for time. Congratulations on the win. It's the war. It's the battle, but not the war. You did everything you had to do, man. Congratulations, but I know it's bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, more sweet, honestly. I mean, missing 2 races to even be in contention for a championship, I mean, that's not really what I was expecting in the first place. So, yeah, that is, anytime you win an Indy is just awesome. I mean, especially with how that race went, I feel like set it up as good as I could have. Fuel saved when I could have, all that stuff, and those yellows really put it in doubt there. But yeah, always just awesome to get it.
The battle there with Justin got tight at times. Each one of you not really willing to give much room to the either. How was it racing? I know you haven't raced him very much this year, but how was it racing him? And then I know at times you were racing some of the other guys up there that made their way up there, Coogan and Gavin and everything. Was everyone being respectful, or was everyone being really rough?
I mean, obviously, I trust Gavin and Shane a lot. I've raced a lot with them, and Justin, that I have raced around him a lot, especially on the ovals, and it's one of those things where you got to be aggressive, or he's gonna take advantage of you. So, pretty aggressive. So, yeah, I mean, it's coming to the white flag of an Indy race, and he didn't leave me any room. He kind of stayed middle of the track, and I started blending up a little bit and made the slice contact, which, I mean, that's happening when you're gonna squeeze someone a little bit. But and then I haven't seen it, but I think it was net code or something, because I thought we had plenty of room into 3, but he was going to squeeze. I was going to stick it in there. I mean, that's just our risk at the end of an oval. And again, like I said, if you don't, especially with some of these guys in here, if you don't be aggressive, you're just going to get taken advantage of. So, yeah, especially for Indy, that's awesome. I mean, 2 years in a row is pretty sweet too.
What was with the different pit strategy with the team? Why did Dakota stay out during that first caution when everyone else pitted when it was really time to pit?
Yeah, I think he was just hoping for something different. Maybe if we had a couple more yellows, he would have been able to kind of be on the same strategy as us and have the track position. So, he said he just wanted to go for it and not really hang back and just, take a fifth or something. So, I bet you'd rather have that back if you could. But,
yeah, I'm about to say you got an eighth.
yeah. But yeah, I kind of went green for a little while. Obviously not green enough as I would have liked, but
excuse me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way is awesome to go there.
Tommy, you got any questions before we give some shout outs? Because I know he needs to get going here for Lionheart. That actually their session is starting now.
Here too. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah. You know the rules. You got to drink milk, and you got to post a video to the RIL Discord to show you drinking the milk.
Exactly.
So that is a definite requirement. I don't know when you want to get to that, before Lionheart or after Lionheart, but that is definitely a requirement, or the win is taken away.
I'm gonna try to get it in.
Okay.
Try to get it in here quick.
Or the win, I think is said. I think I heard the win is taken away if you don't do that. Tommy, you got any questions for him?
I can imagine.
That was gonna be my question. Did you get a hold of some buttermilk unlike last year, or is it still whole milk? What's the milk strategy looking like?
You will never see me with buttermilk. I respect tradition, but buttermilk is a whole other level of gross. So obviously, I don't have whole milk on tap either. It'll be 2%. So gotta work with what we got. But
all right,
yeah, milk is milk, and looking forward to that.
Respectable.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, shout outs for all your sponsors and fans after a long season of 12 races. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, you guys, as always, put on great broadcast. I think we got aunts and grandparents and family, friends. Got quite a few people watching tonight. Indy brings a little bit more of a crowd, at least on our end. So, big shout out to you guys, Fawn and Fanny as well. And Heinekamp Financial. This is the second year in a row they've been on with this race, and definitely is the highlight event of the year for sure. So thanks to them for helping it kind of take it to the next level, and yeah, it makes those wins a little more extra special, especially with the crowd here as well watching. So thanks to you guys as always, and yeah, awesome night.
Yeah, so all you extra family members who haven't done it yet, I know we have more of you than 16 of you out there, and we have 16 thumbs up. So thumbs up for your boy who wins here. We got to let him go because he's going off to Lionheart, and I'll be joining him over there where we're going to get a win at Motegi?
Oh man, I hope so. All my focus has been on Indy though, so we'll see.
No, well, we're going to do it at Motegi. I'm tired of mid-pack in the Lionheart series, but P2 in the championship, you don't get to number 1 again for next season. So close, but there is always next season. We will see you December 7th when the winter 22-23 season starts. Congratulations and good luck later tonight. I will be talking to you later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys.
All right, let's bring up Shane. Hey, Shane, congratulations on that podium. Man, almost didn't get it. Logan had a race of his life there at the end. Almost snuck underneath you to steal that position. But, man, you were up there in the top 5 all day long. Very consistent run. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Shoot, man, I was just talking with the guys. It was so fun. It was such a fun race. Even when you're just, by yourself, you're so on the wheel with this setup. So it was a good one, to be honest. This season is just not, it's just kind of been a wash, and haven't really gotten a decent result out of it. So wanted to do well. I always love running here at Indy. It's kind of what it's all about. So just tried to kind of judge the race and race the track and just try to put one together. But yeah, towards the end there, man, what an exciting run.
You mentioned the setup. Tell us about the setup. What made the setup special or dodgy for this race?
Yeah, I would say dodgy is a pretty good word. You're definitely managing, as the fuel load burns and as you wear the right front or the right rear, whichever one you favor, you're definitely gonna have to be up on the wheel at the end of the stint, whether you're in clean air or whether you're racing guys. So it was really just a matter of trying to make your tires last for what you wanted, trying to get your fuel number. Some guys were trying some different things, and I was just kind of running. qualifying here is super important, and just was able to get like a decent qualifying run. And was just kind of running around, and there towards the end, guys were getting a little aggressive. Was just kind of waiting to see how it was going to play out, and I just did not have enough front there at the end. But the guys up front did a great job.
Tommy, you got any questions for Shane there?
I know you were the benefit of the last lap crash there, but did the last stint of the race kind of play out the way you were expecting it? I know this is your best finish of the year, so congratulations on that. But did everything kind of shake out the way you thought it was going to?
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. Honestly, I was kind of hoping it was going to go green to the end. I think it was like 20-ish laps to go. I was starting to reel in the top two, and it was kind of their race, Miller and Caleb. I was kind of slowly starting to reel them in. I was really hoping it was going to go green at the end, because I knew, restart it always just, you're going to have other guys up there, and it's going to get more interesting. So I kind of figured there would be a late caution, and then with Bruno and Justin getting together, that's just one of those things where I could kind of see that happen in a split second ahead, and I just tried to let them go and hope for the best. Almost didn't make it out of that one alive, but once I got through that, I was like, it's flat to the end. So. What a fun race. Again, great running with these guys. Appreciate the sponsors, Heinekamp Financial. Appreciate you guys doing the broadcast here and all the Race First guys. It's always a good time. So this is what it's all about. We'll try to come back and get one of these days.
You still got the mic. Any other shout-outs you want to make before you go off to do a little bit of podium partying?
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Western Waves Media. That's my media side hustle. Anything from recording music, theme songs, audio production, consulting, even photography. So if you want to level up your creative project, hit me up, Western Waves. As well as you guys for doing the broadcast. This is always really cool. So appreciate the time you guys put in, and anybody watching, friends, family, appreciate it.
Well, thanks a lot, and hopefully we see you when the next season starts anew for the winter 22-23 season at Homestead, Miami, December 7th.
We'll be out there. Thank you, guys.
I'll see ya. All right, now the champ. Bringing him on up, Nicholas Johnson, the Summer Series champion by 21 points over Caleb Binsey. Did everything you needed to do, but man, at one point mid-race, math was not quite in your favor, was it?
Yeah, I was just kind of chilling there in like 6th, 7th, and I was like, all right, I feel okay here. I'm just saving fuel and just kind of riding, and I was able to save enough fuel to go one more lap than the others on that last green flag stop, which gave me the lap lead point. And then at that point, I was, I think, just 5th, and I was safe no matter what happened. So I was just chilling there, and then a caution came, and I was like, oh man, anything can happen with a caution. And I ended up making up spots. And then another caution came. I'm like, just let this race end. Like, I'm totally okay with 3rd, 4th, whatever. Because just anything can happen. Everyone gets packed up, and the tires cool off. Things get crazy. And I just didn't want to be in anyone else's mess.
Yeah, it seemed like the gods started to really, really shine on you. For whatever reason, Drew White, Drew Hill's a football player, Drew White and Nick Isidro were really the guys that were going to chase you down for that P7, P8, P9 position that you couldn't really fall out of. And they got in the battling, and then it eventually took each other out. And the guys that were with them, battling with them, really didn't have your pace all race long, whereas White and Isidro at times could keep up with you. But once they fell by the wayside, there was really nobody challenging you from behind, and it was just people making mistakes in front of you, and you're just picking up those positions and those points, and then boom, boom, boom. Now we're in a green-white checker situation at the end. Now you're thinking, I know I want this race to end, but I might have a shot to win this thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My heart rate went up there towards the last couple laps, because there was points where, like, I could go 3 wide and try to go for the win, but Caleb really wanted it. He knew what he needed to do for the championship, and I knew that sticking my stupid nose in there was not what I needed to do. So better judgment got the best of me. I ended up backing out of it every time. As far as Drew is a teammate of mine, great dude. I don't think he would have messed with me too much. Cedro kind of, I'm a little bit nervous around him. He's a very aggressive driver, so I definitely, when those guys were out, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm safe here. Then some guys took tires, and I didn't know what that was going to do. There's just so many things happening the last 20 laps that
You mentioned the teammate situation because that's right. Drew is a teammate of yours, but when he fell out, I think you had only one other teammate in the race. It might have been JJ, and he wasn't really in a position to help you. But in the meantime, you had half the race first universe around you. I'm sure you at some point you had to feel like, man, I'm a little outnumbered.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of guys out there working together and running really hard. And for some reason, I don't know what it was or why it happened, but it seemed like those last couple of restarts, the seas just parted for me. I mean, Shane got a bad run off of 4, and I was able to get by him. And then Justin and Caleb got to racing real hard on that final restart, and they ended up making contact. And once I got by Justin, I looked at my mirror coming out of 2, I think, and there was a huge gap, and I was like, all right, good win, Caleb. Finish here.
Tommy, you got any questions for the champ?
Yeah, so with the P9 quali run there, are you starting to panic a little bit? Are you starting to sweat as the race goes on? Are you doing the math, or are you just trying to keep your focus on the track?
No, I know I'm kind of like absolute shit at ovals and qualifying, so I wasn't too concerned after that. I knew that I know how to work the tools, and I know how to keep the car in clean air and keep myself out of trouble. And I think I'd be pretty decent on the fuel game and keeping the tires underneath me throughout the run. So as soon as I started to kind of like pick off to around where I needed to be, if Caleb ended up winning the race, from there on out, it was just kind of like, whatever I get is cool, but if I finish here, I'm all right with it.
Nice. Well, congratulations from me anyway. I'll let Gary go on though.
Well, I think after 8 o'clock on weekdays that the FCC allows the S word after that time. So I think you were good to go. But you're the champ, so we'll allow that one to fly. I need to have Matt buy me a Go XL longboard so I could get the bleep button going. But I haven't worked that into my contract yet. But man, great season for you. And it just kind of carries over from watching you on Tuesdays in the FIS where you're in the championship leaders there as well. You come over here and your championship leaders here as well. In fact, if we probably saw you on Fridays, you'd probably be in the top split for the IIS if you wanted to run that. We probably see you in the top split on the Monday show if you wanted to run that. We know that your skill set is by far under question by nobody at this point, and being now, I believe, the first non-race first driver to win the RIL championship. That says something for you, and Mr. Watson can go crack a bottle of champagne to celebrate his team getting a series championship here. But I think you did everything right, and man, you made it really exciting for a lot of us. I know that you need to say thanks to Danielle, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. But I know you have probably a very long list of people that you want to thank, and sponsors, friends, family, you name it. Go right ahead. Doesn't matter how long you need to talk. Go right ahead. The microphone is yours. You've earned it. You are the champion.
Well, first, I appreciate the kind words, Gary. That's really nice of you. It was a really long season, a lot of fun. There was ups and downs, races I should have won, races I probably didn't deserve to win, but ended up winning. So it was a great season and a lot of fun, and I can't wait to come back next year. Obviously, got to thank everyone. Danielle, thank you so much for watching every race this year and staying up late, even though I know you have a very long day ahead of you. So you can go ahead and get some rest now, babe. Thank you, I love you. All the SKL boys, I saw some of them in the chat that are watching. Appreciate your guys' support. I'll be on there in just a minute. Schaeffer's and Heinekamp for sponsoring this race and this series. Really appreciate all the support they give, and so we can have somewhere to run and have these fun races. Gary, Tommy, you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a very great job, and very great job. That kind of sounds dumb. You guys do a great job, and really appreciate what you guys do. And of course, Revolution Indy League and all the admins for putting this on and keeping control of the herd they do week in and week out.
Well, there you have it. Now the next question is December 7th. It is Miami Homestead Speedway round 1 of the winter 22-23 season. Are we going to see you defend with the number 1 badge on your car?
Oh, they're peeling the 28s right now.
All right. Well, we will see you there. Congratulations. Well earned. Didn't win the war, so to speak, but won. Didn't win the. That's twice I messed that up. Didn't win the battle, but you did win the war tonight. Congratulations. And I know I'll probably be talking to you in another series at some point, but for the rest of everybody else, when it comes to RIL coverage, we will see you in December.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thank you very much.
All right.
Ooh, doggy.
Wow. I think the race lived up to, sometimes in the past there's been some boring Indy 500s. Through much of the 2000s, the 500's been pretty exciting. And this kind of echoed that new style of IndyCar racing on ovals here in the virtual world, where the leaders were not just running single file. They were for a period, but they were really attacking each other when it counted. And you had the guy that's going to be the potential champion, just racking them up one lap after another, one spot after another, until eventually he gets himself into the position where it all counts.
Yeah, that race really had everything that you wanted. I mean, everybody sorted themselves out early. You think you know the contenders. All of a sudden, there's chaos and carnage everywhere you look. And then everything gets turned on its head. All the leaders have to try and do something different, or they crash, and new contenders come into the fray, and you crown a champion. You find out who the best driver is on the given day, and you do it all with a smile on your face. That's what we're here to do. That's what all the drivers were here to do, figure out who the top dog was. And tonight, it was Bensy. The last 12 weeks, though, Nicholas Johnston for sure deserves to be the champion. He put together a fantastic campaign, hardly ever stumbled, and almost always persevered. And no different from tonight. I do want to give a shout-out, though, before we go, to the boss man, Matt Houston, capping off a fantastic full rookie campaign with a top 5 finish here tonight. That was a great run for him.
Yeah, and that got him a 6th place in the final championship. Looking at the final stats up on the screen here one time, Nicholas Johnston, 11 starts. I believe we do have a drop week here in the RIL. 4 wins, 8 top 5s, 403 total points. Caleb Bensy, who missed a week, so he had the drop week and then missed an additional race. 3 wins, 7 top 5s, 382 points. The boss man, Matt Houston, as you mentioned, 11 starts, so he gets that drop week there. 3 top 5s, 269 points, 134 out of the lead, but only 9 out of P5. Before we go, do want to remind everyone, starting here on September 14th, we're going to pass the torch off to you guys and Turn 200 Productions for the Daredevil Series, Auto Club Speedway, and a Lotus 79s, September 14th.
That is going to be a blast. A lot of this same cast and crew. Nicholas Johnston has signed up, as has Bruno Miranda, to run some select races, if not the full schedule. So we'll have to see if they make appearances. But, I mean, the quality of racing, no matter who shows up, is always fantastic. There's always some drama. There's always great racing. It's not to be missed. I think Matt and I at least trying to put on a halfway decent broadcast. And so it's not really a huge dip in quality from Racefers to Turn 200 Productions, at least in my mind anyway.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we don't really have that much longer to wait. And so that's the even better part about the whole thing.
And as mentioned for us, the next time you will hear myself, Ryan Eric King, the host of Race First Voices, December 7th, Homestead Miami Speedway for 133 laps at the 1.5 mile paperclip shaped oval as we will kick off winter 22-23 of the Schaeffer IndyCar Series. There you see the remainder of the schedule. Circuit of America's Motegi, doubleheader Kansas week, Montreal, Talladega, where we'll have heat races. We will do New Jersey Motorsports Park for the first time. That'll be interesting for a broadcast, considering it's not a finished track. Monza combined, so we will go back to visit an IndyCar race that was ran there back in the 50s. Darlington, IndyCars actually ran there back in the 50s. We'll run there in the virtual world this February. Road America, then Indy 500 qualifying, and then Indy 300, actually. Indy 300 the race. Again, we'll be back here in Indianapolis March 1st. All right. Go ahead.
I can't wait to be a competitor on that one. Hopefully. I just want to make every race and not crash out of half the schedule. That's my goal. But
remember,
I got to thank you for inviting me here tonight.
Oh, no problem.
To finish out the season. I wish Ryan was here for you and for him, but I'm happy that I could be here and be a part of this historic night in the Revolution Indy League's history.
Yeah, he is on assignment in Portland for Jalopnik.com, covering the Portland Grand Prix in the NTT IndyCar Series. So if you go to Jalopnik.com, you can read up on his stories. There's a plug. I don't know if he's published anything yet, but he will be there this weekend. So that is it for tonight. Once again, your podium for the Heinekamp Financial 300 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is Caleb Binsey. He wins the race, but Nicholas Johnson, he wins the war. I got it right. He finishes second, and Shane Coogan with his podium, first podium of the year in third. Join Racefirst again Wednesday, December 7th for a new day of epiphany as the Schaeffer IndyCar Series will kick off their winter 22-23 season from Homestead Miami Speedway. That's next Wednesday, December 7th, with a start time of roughly around 7:45 Eastern time right here on YouTube at youtube.com/Racefirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support Racefirst with the Weekend Liquor Grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, just like that. If you're new, click subscribe and hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Racefirst's other iRacing programming, including the 4D Raceware Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. We will be covering the opening of that season here in 2 weeks. The continuing coverage of the Racefirst Formula Indy Series on Tuesdays, the Stock Carnival de Brazil Championship Thursday tomorrow, and Portland are Watkins Glen for the iRacing IndyCar Series on this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Racefirst, we know what Indy means. Indy 300 race sponsorship paid for by Heinekamp Financial Planning and Tax Services. Heinekamp is a family-run Indiana-based business that offers a full range of financial planning and tax services, including investment planning, tax preparation, retirement planning, insurance planning, and estate planning. Additionally, they offer a full slate of small business services as well. For more information, visit HeinekampFinancial.com or click on their link in the broadcast description below. Revolution IndyCar League IndyCar Series naming rights paid for by Schaeffer Oil. Schaeffer Oil, racing is their blood. It's what they love. At Schaeffer, their racing products help keep racing teams spend less resources on replacing parts and changing fluids and more time out on the track. Check out SchaefferOil.com, where you can search for the nearest retailer today or click on their link in the description below. For business inquiries and learn more about Racefirst and what we do, visit Racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us on Twitter via our Twitter handles. They are right here on the screen. Tommy, you got a Twitter handle?
At Tommy Tracks. Tommy Tracks.
There you go. You can add him as well for their upcoming season. Do that right now. So for Tommy Cook, everyone at Racefirst, I'm Gary Gotzo saying all. Thanks for watching. And to all the men and women serving in the military as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Thanks again, everybody. Congratulations to Nicholas Johnson for becoming the new RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series champion. Catch us in December when we start the campaign all over again for the next race of the Revolution Indy League Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Good night.